Hi, my name is Nan Montgomery and I'm the Warren County SNAP Education Assistant. Are you and your family looking for an easy, quick family dish to make for a holiday tradition? Well, this kale and cranberry salad is going to be a must. So first off, what you want to do is you want to buy one bunch of kale, whether it be at the farmer's market or the grocery store. And when you're shopping, you want to make sure that you get bright green kale. You want to make sure that it's free of debris, that it's not wilted, and you also want the leaves to be medium to small in size. Here we'd have a medium-sized leaf. You also want to make sure, if you do choose to buy pre-packaged kale at the grocery store, you want to make sure that that washed and ready to eat kale is free of slime at the bottom and the leaves aren't wilted. But today we chose fresh. So after you buy your bundle at the grocery store, you're going to want to remove the stem. And lots of times when you buy your kale, they're going to have a lot longer stem. I've already pre-cut that, but you can see there is still some stem left. We're going to want to cut that excess stem off. And then you also want to make sure that you destem your kale all the way through it. That's because the stem is very fibrous and it doesn't taste good. So you're not going to want to eat that in your salad. And then you can see that it just easily comes out and I no longer have a stem in my kale. The next thing that you want to do is you're going to want to roll up your kale. I find this is the easiest way to chop it, and so you want it to be finely chopped like this. You don't want a big hunk of kale in your salad. And you're also going to put it in here. So this would be one bunch of kale. The next thing for your salad is you are going to add 1/4 cup of olive oil and drizzle it over your kale. Then you are going to take one medium squeezed lemon. Make sure with your kale that your kale has been washed, obviously, before you put it in your salad. Also make sure you've washed that lemon before you squeeze it in there. Then we are going to toss it. You want to make sure that the flavors can marry together. So it's really important that we get all this olive oil and lemon juice tossed, because then our kale won't have flavor if we don't get it tossed together. Kale is a great source of vitamin A and vitamin C, as many of our greens are that you're going to eat. After you've added your olive oil and your lemon juice, then we are going to sprinkle 1/2 cup of cranberries. If you don't have any cranberries on hand, you can feel free to use raisins. Then we are going to take 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese and sprinkle it all over our salad. And then we are going to use 1/2 cup of slivered almonds. Of course, if you have a nut allergy, you can leave those out. And then we are going to toss our salad once again. And after you've done that, you have this beautiful holiday kale salad. You're going to get a lot of extra greens. A lot of people in Kentucky actually don't get enough fruit and vegetables in their diet, and so this is going to be a great alternative to add instead of maybe some of those unhealthy holiday foods that we have. This is also going to be a great side for your family. A lot of questions that we get at the extension office are proper storage of greens. And so a proper way that you can store your greens is when you buy that kale or those collard or mustard greens at the grocery store, you're going to want to make sure that you store those in the coldest part of your refrigerator for up to 2 to 3 days. If it's past 2 or 3 days, the flavor is going to become strong, the leaves will start to wilt, and you're just not going to get the best product. If, for instance, you buy them and you don't think that you're going to cook those greens within 2 or 3 days, then what you need to do is you need to think about freezing them. And so what you would do with that, for instance, we have our kale for today is what we're working with. You would want to make sure once again that you chop off the stem, and then you are going to destem it like we did earlier. And then you are going to make sure that you roll it up and that you chop it into those fine pieces. And you also want to make sure that after you've done that, you want to blanch it for 2 to 3 minutes. That's a really important part of the process of when it comes to freezing your greens. After you've blanched it, you want to make sure that they're dry. If you have greens that aren't dried, then that excess water in it can just make the greens clump together and they may not have the best flavor. Once you have done that and your greens are dried, then they are ready to be put into a freezer storage bag. And it's very important that you get the proper storage bags at the grocery store. There are bags that say freezer on them, and so you want to make sure that you get that kind. You would then package your greens, whether it be collard or mustard greens, into your bag, and you want to make sure that you leave at least 1/2 inch of head space on there. And of course, label and date when you have made those greens. And then after you have labeled and date, you can put them in your freezer and they will be good up to 1 year.